Hey, this is Gilgamesh. I want to talk about this movie, The Choral. I saw it. It's actually really good. It takes place in 1917 England during World War One, and the plot is essentially their choir master decides to go serve in the British Army, and so they hire Rafe Fiennes. They bring him in because he's, this well-known choir master, and the thing was he moved to Germany, and the choral is where they were going to put on this choir play that they choose every year, the same one, and so yeah, and there is humor in this movie. It also deals with the idea of like grief and everything, especially with the war going on, and you find out as a movie that Ray Fiennes' character, Dr. Henry Guthrie, he speaks fluent German, and the guy who's in charge, who basically funds the choir, doesn't like the fact that he's speaking German, lets him know this. But the movie's solid. The casting is amazing in this, and they ultimately he decides he wants to see if he can use this other guy's choir piece for it, and so he's well known in the for a piece that he wrote, and essentially he reaches out to him and he allows them to do it, but as they're going through it, they're finding out that they decide to make some changes to it, and in the end, the guy that wrote this sees what they did and he's not happy with it, but he refuses to give permission. But what they do is they decide they're not going to charge for putting this on. It goes more from a choir to more like, I'd say, an opera, because they put on costumes and everything, and they put on this grand show at the end of the movie that's amazing. You have to see it. I'm not sure if it's still playing where you live, but this, when I went and saw it, I saw the trailer during the Facom Hall, and so I was like, I knew I wanted to see it, and so I was like, yep, it's Ray Fiennes, and the cast is great. Everybody's fantastic in it. They can all sing, and so yeah, and they put on this great, like I more would say opera at the end than just a choir piece, and because like I said, they put on a show, and it's and they charge nothing for it, and it's amazing the way the movie goes from beginning to the very end. The ending of this movie is amazing. The whole story, it's really not that long of a movie. The thing was, most people didn't go see it. So it's only an hour and 13 minutes. It doesn't feel long, and it just goes, I just saw it like at the beginning of the year, this month, and it's really well done. The cast is amazing. You have young actors. There is one nude scene in the movie, and all you see is a guy's ass. One of the young actors' butt in the movie. That's it. And essentially, this goes from being about one thing to, and it goes they complete it. It's just a beautiful story. The dream of this. Yeah. And it starts out, they want to do this St. Matthew's Passion, and he asks if someone who, Guthrie instead proposes Elgar's The Dream of Corytheus, which is accepted on that if the guy who wrote it agrees to let them do it. And so that's the thing, and the movie's amazing. The acting is great. The singing is, whether you like opera or you like, people singing like opera, the end of this movie's amazing. And you've got these different, whole thing with grief and everything, and it really does play in the story. Like I said, this dealing with the idea of World War One, and like the guy who's in charge of putting this on, who's funding it, he and his wife, as you you'll find, you watch it, I think they lost their son, and it's kind of pushed them away to the very end, and then it brings them back together. This movie really does deal with all these characters. Nobody's perfect in the movie. It is really about people dealing with, wars going on, and it is, it is kind of heartbreaking of, yeah. And so this movie just, I know a lot of people didn't go see it because I don't know how much it cost. Let me see really quick how much this movie, it only made 8 million. It doesn't say how much it cost to make. But it especially, I don't know how much it costs. That's the thing, is they don't tell you. So it's like, yeah. And the thing about this is it's so good. I sat mainly in a theater of old people. I was like, I'm 50, turning 55 this year. And most of the people in the theater when I saw it were much older than me. Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, I loved everything about this. I couldn't, even when I wanted to go to the bathroom, I finished the movie. I mean, like I said, it's not that long of a movie when you really think. It's like an hour and it's about an hour and 43 minutes long. It doesn't feel long, and it moves at a consistent pace. So like I say, it gets to the end of the movie, and it's just fantastic. Ray Fiennes, like I said, everybody in this movie are amazing. Yeah, and like it says right here, the choir. Okay, it's a historical drama co-produced. Yeah. And it's basically during 1916, I thought it was 1917, but World War I, in a fictional town of Romsden, Yorkshire. Yeah, and it deals with, like I said, Ray Fiennes. They bring him in because he starts speaking German. They go, you can't do that. And basically he chooses, recruits a group of teenage boys and girls for a performance of this man's, Edward Elgar's The Dream. It's about a man dying. Yeah. And a work chosen because it's not written by a German. Yeah. And everybody's fantastic, this movie. I mean, you got, this cat, him. Yeah. Roger Allman. You got Mark Abbey here. You got Allman. Yeah. If I remember right, I'm trying to think if this actor was in a film I've seen called Life Force. I think that might have been him. Don't know who this is. Yeah. The cast is great. I mean, it's fantastic. I highly, highly recommend it for anybody looking for, I don't know if, like I said, they moved it from all the big theaters because they're bringing all these films, like Lord of the Rings and everything. So, yeah, but this one worth seeing when you get a chance. It's great. It's like I said, I don't want to give the ending away, but it's a fantastic all the way through the way they go about the ending. I never felt bored. It's a human drama that has humor built into it, but it's also, like I said, it deals with the themes of grief and everything, and you see that throughout the movie. And the whole idea of we're at war and people being drafted to go to the war. Yeah, so it's really fantastic. So, yeah, and the singing is great. Everybody's just amazing in the movie. So I would see it if you're inclined, go see the Choral. And it's called that because of where they're going to put this opera on. Because, it's more of an opera than anything because they sing a couple of them sing more like opera singers than just a choir. And especially with the way that they put on the final show at the end, it's more like I said, it's more like an opera than just a choir group singing. And so, it's just magnificent. So this is Gilgamesh. I'll talk to you later. Bye.